We are taught that the future is a blank page, that we must write it with sweat and anxiety, that we must build our lives from scratch using sheer force of will. But this approach creates a deep, rather exhausting friction, and it implies that the outcome that you desire is distant, that it does not exist yet. When you fight for a future, you are subconsciously broadcasting a signal of lack. You're telling the universe that you do not have it, and this creates noise. And that noise is exactly what keeps the goal that you have out of reach. There is a concept known as the space of variations. So what you do is like you picture an infinite information field, a vast coordinate grid that contains every possible version of reality in store for you. So the past, present, and future are all stored there like film reels on a shelf. The version where you failed exists over there. The version where you gave up exists over there. But so does the version where you have already won. It is physically real. It is sitting there in the field, waiting to be observed, waiting to be lived. And this changes the mechanism of action completely. You do not need to create success. You do not need to manufacture it out of thin air. You simply need to choose it. You need to select it. And think of a radio. Like when you want to listen to a specific song, you do not build the band. You do not force the radio to generate the music. You just simply turn the dial. You tune into a frequency that is already broadcasting. And your mind works fascinatingly in a very similar way. When you worry, you're tuning into a timeline of disaster. And when you strive too hard, you're tuning into a timeline of like eternal struggle and chaos. And the goal is to align your mental emission with the sector of the space of variations where your success is a fact. You act as if it is inevitable that you will get it regardless of whatever you do. And you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, Neville Goddard, not as a fantasy, but as a dry statement of fact. And the shift happens when you finally drop the desperation and you stop begging reality to give you something. You assume the state of having it. You walk with the quiet confidence of someone who has already seen the end of the movie and you know what is going to happen. And because you're no longer generating the static of doubt, the signal comes through clear, doors open without force, and the right people appear. It feels less like climbing a mountain and more like sliding into place. So stop fighting the strong currents. The version of you that is successful is not a fantasy that you need to construct step by step. It is a destination that already exists on the map, and you just have to set the coordinates, just adjust and tune into the frequency, and let the reality that is there pull you in.